So here's the situation. Math class ends and everyone's about to head out, and the teacher stops the students to give the homework assignment. But she says this one is unique. This time you don't have to find the right answer, it's already provided. Your assignment is to show your work for how you got the right answer. And so one kid, while grabbing the homework, looks at the paper and realizes, hold on, one of these questions says that 5 times 5 is 37. And so he goes up to the teacher and says, hey, are we sure that this is, the correct answer? And the teacher says, rest assured, everything is correct. Your job is just to show your work for why that answer is right. So the kid goes home and tries to do his homework. And the question is, how long do you think it's going to take him to show his work for that specific problem and why? Welcome back to Wisdom Shorts Podcast, your go to spot for down to earth, deep thinking, and where philosophy is made approachable. I am your host, Jet. This is my older brother, Jejuan, and we are talking about the Wisdom Short in Book One called, hold on, y'all, what's this called? I forgot my own title. I promise I wrote this stuff. Forced to Prove. It is called Forced to Prove. So yeah, what are your thoughts? How long do you think it's going to take this kiddo to do his homework for 5 times 5 is 37 if he needs to show his work?
You know, forcing a person to do that assignment just it reminds me of a lawyer having to defend a murderer that we got on. Like it's like, so I gotta defend him. Like it's my job to do this, even though it's wrong.
Yes,
Um,
even though right.
yeah,
That is fair.
yeah, that's how it feels when I hear that short.
Yeah, no, that's actually really funny. I never thought of it that way. But yeah, morally, that is the equivalent. But yeah, now obviously, this is the wrong answer for a problem. So being forced to try to answer why something is right is difficult if you're going to have to lock in the answer. And so yeah, what are your initial, I guess, takeaways from a concept like that?
I mean, the first thing I would have is more questions than answers. You know, why is this being assigned to me? Like, what is there a bigger purpose? Like, because especially if I assume my teacher's smart, obviously she's smart. I just checked with her to see if she made an error of some sort, and she assured me that it's right. So I'm over here just listening to the wording, trying to ask these questions so we could get on the same page so we can actually solve it. Uh,
Right.
and so, but the second thing is like, okay, so is there a possibility that these numbers mean something different? You expect to see 5A, and what does A stand for to make this equal 37? So,
Right.
so yeah, it seems like the impossible problem, and basically what you have to do is think outside the box if it is even solvable at all.
Right. Yeah. Nah, okay. Hold on. You said a couple of things. I'm actually going to take my time here. Okay. So, for one, we both know both versions of these teachers. There are definitely teachers who think that is a good assignment to give to students because it can be done. And then there are teachers who are actually trying to teach a deeper lesson, even though this particular assignment might technically waste their time. What do you think? Let's start with the wise teacher. What do you think the motivation for her giving an assignment like this, if she knows what she's doing, is?
Yeah, that's a good question. It challenges your way of thinking outside of the math equation. Like, what if
Mm,
somebody has you doing? What if somebody has you wasting your time? How do you feel? That could
yes.
be one lesson that could be learned. Like somebody has you wasting your time. Uh, More rudely, what if somebody knows they're wasting your time? Now, how do you feel? And so there's so many things. But if it's a wise teacher, I'm sure. Now, for me, it would have been a hard assignment to give just because you're letting people go home for hours and hours, and who knows how much time they're gonna spend on it. Because I look at me as a coach, my players trust me, so
Right.
they're probably gonna just waste like 16 hours of their time trying to figure.
Right.
And so, but that's what a wise teacher would do is whatever problem. And I could name a bunch of things that we could pull out of knowing a problem is incorrect and having people solve it. But that's what a wise teacher would do. They'd have a purpose behind what they're trying to teach, and they'd use that equation to teach a much deeper lesson.
Yeah, nah, that's exactly it. Because I didn't write this part obviously, but I think you can almost get three kinds of students that would come back. There's one kid that comes back laughing, like that was a funny assignment, Miss So and so.
Yep.
Like you got me. There's another kid that comes back angry. This was a stupid assignment. It was a waste of time. Yada yada yada. And then there's a third kid that comes back with like like hieroglyphics, like levels of like he's been working all night to try to make this make sense. And it's like when you start trying to justify a claim before you actually check the claim itself. And so there probably is a kid that comes back with 6 sheets of paper and Einstein's theory of relativity or something, but does not have the answer to this question because he tried to figure it out. And so yeah, like I actually think it's one of those things where it's like it's important to not, it sounds bad, but trust but verify. Like the point of the point of showing your work is to get the right answer, not the other way around. And if you flip the order, it actually becomes really dangerous.
Yeah.
Like,
You
yeah.
said something. You said something interesting that made me think, and that's why I like wisdom shorts, because the more you talk about them, the more you pull other things out of them. So my question to you would be, all right, so let's think about out of the three students that you described, which one do you feel is the most healthy way to go about feeling duped and being angry, become like which student do you like the most or in their approach?
I mean, I definitely say the first kid is wiser, the one that just kind of peeped it and said, "Oh, this is funny," and went on about his day. But I don't think any are bad. I think
Okay.
the experience is healthy for all of them because no matter which response you get, you did just learn that something that you trusted still needed to be tested before you went to the next step. And so, regardless who you hear it from, basically, this is the counter to that first episode we did. 5 times 5 is 25. It's
Mhm.
like that teacher, if she gives an assignment like this, both those kids from the first one are going to come back a little different because both kids need to learn the lesson. Either one kid already knows it. If you get emotional or if you do all the work or if you get sad, it's like all of those are just responses that kids give. But the test itself just means you are where you are. So yeah, personality differences don't bother me, but yeah, one kid is definitely ahead of the others when it comes
Right.
to just already knowing a test. Did you have that teacher? I had that teacher for sure that like they gave me a test and the only instructions they gave me for a like 20 question test was make sure you read the directions. And so you take the paper back and then you don't read the directions and so you do the whole test and the very first the directions say only answer question 3
Yeah.
and turn it back in. And so you notice like while you're on question 15 and everyone
Yeah.
else is getting up and you're like, but it's like it's
Yeah.
that kind of game basically. But I definitely had that teacher.
Yeah. I didn't have it in that way. Those kind of teachers, but I knew I know what you're talking about. I've definitely seen it. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
One of the things I think that you said that I like is that personality traits are okay.
Hmm.
Like that would mean a lot if you really think about it. Like, oh, none of these are necessarily bad. Now, there are some that are going to get better outcomes than others, and you might want to look at that and see, okay, but to think this is how I respond, or think about who you would be in that situation or how you respond, seems like a healthy thing to tell you about yourself. Like, this is how I deal with frustration, and is that
Yeah.
good for me in this situation? And so, when you were saying that, I was thinking about the response of which one was more healthy, thinking it's
Hmm.
funny. I didn't waste much time. Ha ha. Let's keep it moving. Or the person who sticks around, and I can name a bunch of situations on either side that would be healthy if you created another situation. But
Yes, agreed.
yeah. So no, I love that you brought that out of that question. But no, I haven't had long way back to your original question. Um, I've had some coaches that did that though,
Hmm.
not teachers, but like coaches. It's like, hey, they'd create a scenario just like that. And I actually do it sometimes. And I'll say, hey, we're going to do a communication game and line up. I do the first three where you line up from your mom's first name from A to Z. And then I'll say, hey, line up from your dad's name from Z to A. And are you really paying attention
Yeah.
to what's happening and what's being said? Or are you just automatically, subconsciously filling in answers?
Yeah. Nah, that's definitely, yeah, that's in that same family of I want you to learn something besides the thing you're looking at. Like there should always be a deeper level of thinking going on. And so yeah, this was definitely a math teacher that was thinking about more than math. Like this is a concept that yeah, it's just everywhere. It's like, yeah, no, when you're not allowed. Oh yeah, let me actually get back to the wisdom short. Goodness, we just having conversation.
I know.
But yeah, but it's like there's real consequences to not being allowed to test things for yourself before you have to start co-signing things. And so, again, this comes up in
Mm,
faith, this comes up in politics, this comes up in anything. When you don't let people ask the question that the kid wanted to ask the teacher, like when he hits
mm,
that wall of, hey, I have a question, and you get shooed away,
yep.
it's like, well, you only have two options now because the person that told you this wasn't willing to reason with you, you either have to believe what they say without reason, which is an issue,
Yep.
or you reject it without knowing the reason. You're only rejecting it based off the fact that no one gave you a reason, which is actually the more honorable thing to do, I think. Like stepping away from something because someone didn't give you a reason is healthy, even
Right.
if what they said happened to be right. So yeah, all that to say that's another big part of this story is just the ability to think about the problem and the solution for yourself before you have to start showing your work for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And having a lot of those like wisdom shorts kind of will, you can, I like having pictures. Pictures help you remember and educate you. And now when you do run into situations, you think, hold on, 5 times 5 equals 37. And you immediately can say, this is that in that situation. I need to make sure I
Yes.
go back and consider that you just might be wrong, even though you're smart and wise and you're the teacher and you're the authority. Let me confirm that this is actually true. And I don't know that people do that enough. Reflect on what they're getting.
Yeah, cuz this yeah, this that's so true cuz I've made that mistake in relationships. Like I've been in a relationship before thinking like I'm supposed to make this work. Like, and so you actually, without asking, should I be in this? You start asking, how can I make this work? You automatically jump to showing your work rather than making sure the thing itself is healthy. Like
Mhm.
that's a fundamental skill. And it's like I get we're using math in this one, but it's like you should be allowed to ask, should I be in this first? And once you get a yes to that, then you can ask, how can I make this work? But
Mhm.
but yeah, so nah, that's just a yeah, it's just a healthy mindset all around. But yeah, it's one of my favorite ones because I think, yeah, being forced to prove something, like you said, for a lawyer, I'm like, at least they get paid to waste their time. But but I'm like, for everyone else, it is just a waste of time usually. So nah, that's a really good perspective on it.
Yeah.
Yup, y'all. Well, man, you got any closing thoughts for this one?
No, not really. I think that one's, I don't want to use the word open and close because there's a lot more I feel we could pull from it, but it's a great way to view things. It's gonna make me like go out and kind of rethink things that I believe. And it's just like, hold on, let me make sure this isn't a situation where I haven't shown my work or is wrong. And I just think that's just a great approach to to viewing life as you move forward.
Yeah. Nah, I like it. I like it. All right, people. Well, as always, y'all can find this on wisdomshorts.com or Amazon at a significantly higher price. I do not recommend it. Um, but yeah, this is Wisdom Shorts, comic book style, reflective questions, critical thinking, discipleship making. That's just kind of what this book is here for, to make thoughtful discussion approachable without needing a PhD to get into some of these thoughts. So yeah, if y'all enjoy this story and others like it and the art along with it, yeah, go check the book out on wisdomshorts.com or Amazon if you want to support even harder. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this story? Comment below. Do the like, subscribe, and all the other good stuff. And yeah, we will see y'all in the next one.
All
Peace.
right.